At the same time, the Kenyan coast has been spared the worst of the tropical storm after Cyclone Hidaya lost its strength. The cyclone had been expected to make landfall in Kenya and Tanzania over the weekend, but meteorologists from both countries say Hidaya's impact will not be as earlier expected. Kenya's geographical positioning on the equator also served to spare her from the wrath of the cyclone. This relief comes as heavy rains in parts of the country continued with deadly consequences. The number of dead from the rains has now hit 228. We get more from our very own Brenda Wanga.
It had been anticipated that the Kenyan coastline would have been dealing with the impact of the tropical cyclone Hidaya this weekend. The Meteorological Department in Kenya, however, says the storm has completely lost its strength. The cyclone made landfall in the Mafia Islands in Tanzania on Saturday. The Meteorological Department, however, says despite the completion of the Hidaya event, the coastal region of the country, including Kwale, Kilifi, Mombasa and Lamu counties, are now likely to receive moderate to heavy rainfall offshore on Monday and Tuesday. This will be accompanied by strong winds and large waves of more than 2 meters high.
So those who are in the oceans also, there is likelihood to have very serious waves. And this is not a matter of conjecture, it's not a matter of joking, because we've actually lost one fisherman in Kilifi because of the strong waves already. So avoid going to the shores because to do your activities there, because there's a lot of water and huge waves. We've already lost one, and one is still missing in Kilifi County.
That relief from the coast comes as the country continues to struggle under the weight of the impact of the ongoing heavy rains across most parts of Kenya. Those rains have affected 223,000 people in 42,000 households across the country, destroyed property, and led to the loss of hundreds of lives.
We do mourn the loss of 9 lives in the past 24 hours, and that includes 7 adults and 2 children, bringing the total floods-related toll to 228 across the country.
The flooding has also left families looking for some 72 people whose whereabouts remain unclear. The impact of the floods on the infrastructure across the country continues to be felt. In the capital, critical water supply systems have been affected, cutting off water supply for communities. Businesses remain closed as the owners wait for the flood waters to fully recede to allow them assess the full impact of the flooding.
Yote hakuna mtu hata asubuhi sisi tukienda kazi imekuwa ni shida. Watu wanapata ile magonjwa ya miguu kwa sababu ya kutembea. Wafanyabiashara wanachukua chakula kutoka ile main soko iko hapa inaitwa Muhindi Mweusi, wanaleta pande hii, inakuwa ni shida hata mtu kutoa vitu zake alete huko, sasa zinaoza, watu wana complain.
The weatherman predicts that the rains will continue in spread and intensity, with moderate to heavy rains expected this week in 33 counties across Kenya. Only the counties in the northern parts of the country will be spared this intense rains. The counties of Homa Bay, Kajiado, Nakuru, Mandera and Nairobi bearing the brunt of the floods on the daily economic activities of their residents. At the same time, the government says it will not relent in its mission to relocate those living along 17 rivers, and it won't allow resettlement on riparian areas as well. But in the same breath, the government has pledged to arrange for accommodation for those affected by the flooding on a need and priority basis. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.